Hello, this is Wmpyr here to talk to you guys about one of my favorite fight scenes of all time. And first of all, it has features Sensei Jeff Speakman in there. And when I first saw Jeff Speakman, it was in the movie The Perfect Weapon. And that was a movie that really inspired me to learn the double sticks, which I was training at the time in Arnis. And it just really made sense to me because when you watch the movie and you see that he has rapid hands, okay? So when I first saw the trailer to the movie on HBO, I thought this movie was like about a superhero. Like, I guess Batman was still fresh in my mind, the Michael Keaton Batman. So I was thinking that, oh, this is about like a street vigilante. And yeah, maybe he has like these superpowers where, it's called the perfect weapon. So he has like super fast hands, super fast reflexes, and he's able to beat the bad guys. And that's what I thought. I thought it was a superhero movie, but no, it's a martial arts action film. And he doesn't have superpowers. It's just his martial arts skills are kind of like superpowers in that sense. But the important thing was that the rapid fire hand strikes that you see in Kempo Karate, that's what they're known for in American Kempo Karate, which is Ed Parker's system. At least in this film, the training with the double sticks, it complements that. So I immediately understood that the way that he uses the double sticks and the way that he uses his hands is completely connected, and he's able to go back and forth between sticks and hands, and the movements are similar. So practicing with the sticks helps his hands, practicing with his hands helps the sticks, kind of thing. So I immediately understood that. I got that from watching the movie, and that made my training that much more exciting, and I couldn't wait to do more double stick stuff. All right. So, but the best fight scene for me with Jeff Speakman is not in that movie, because in that movie, the last boss that he kind of faces, or it's not even the last boss, but the main muscle, not the brains behind the brawn, but the main muscle that he has to face is Professor Tanaka, Professor Toru Tanaka, who is also in The Running Man. That battle, like when you rewatch it, to me it was kind of like Jeff Speakman would have lost that fight, or the characters, if that was real, if it wasn't a movie and it was real, that he wasn't going to win that fight, because it came down to like usage of like this like belt whip weapon that was kind of like a spear that you can throw. And it kind of came down to that, and then I know he threw the chain and a piece of the chain, and then the gas was in the guy's face, and the ending just wasn't like a really good fight for me. But anyway, the one that I was impressed with was his second film that came out, which is called Street Night. And the movie, to me, overall, Street Night was not as I didn't find it as enjoyable as The Perfect Weapon. However, the fight that he has against the big dude, the muscle, that fight is amazing, and to me takes it a notch above The Perfect Weapon. And the guy that he faces, the big muscular guy, is none other than Tom McGee. And Tom McGee was a guy that I actually saw in Japan on TV in a professional wrestling match, and at the time it was billed as a mixed like martial arts match. And I was, this is before the UFC. This is in the late 80s. I saw this match and I was like, whoa, this is a martial arts guy going up against Cho Shuriki, who was a superstar at the time. He was like the most popular Japanese professional wrestler at the time. And the reason why he was so popular was kind of like, almost like Wolverine. Why was Wolverine so popular? Because he wasn't like Superman. He wasn't the goody two-shoes. He was kind of the rebellious attitude. So for a lot of young people, that appealed, that attitude. That Cho Shuriki had that. And so a lot of young people, and including myself, were big fans. And this guy was going up against this dude that super muscular dude that looked like Conan the Barbarian, and he gets on the top of the turnbuckle, and I think he did like a front flip and like landed. So he jumps off the top turnbuckle, does a flip, and freaking lands. Or I don't even know if it was a front. It could have been even more complex. He may have done like a reverse, like a backflip and landed. It's wild, but they build him as a martial artist, and they also build him like he was like a champion in 5 different sports or something like that, right? And so obviously gymnastics was one of them, and bodybuilding, powerlifting, and then martial arts, which weren't exactly sure, but what exactly, but some kind of martial arts, and I don't know, track and field or something like that. So like 5 different, maybe not track and field, maybe shot put or something is more believable. But anyway, that's how they build them, and I don't even know if that any of that's true. But you go to Wikipedia and you look him up, and it says that he was at one point Canada's world's strongest man, and Canada's like at the time premier powerlifter, and he had tried for the WWF at the time, which is now called WWE, and I believe Vince McMahon Jr. Vince saw him as like the next Ultimate Warrior, or he maybe saw Ultimate Warrior, maybe I'm wrong, as Ultimate Warrior was maybe becoming a little not stable for the company. So then he was like, well, this guy, this guy's the next, you know, and I think that was his plan. But there's an infamous story that not even the most technical professional wrestler, Bret Hart, could save the day. And the match that Bret Hart, the Hitman, and Tom McGee had was allegedly horrific, and that's when Vince knew that Vince had, like, before that he was completely sold by the guy's looks, signed him. Like I said, the guy looked like he could be like in a sword and sorcery, a barbarian movie. Just I don't know why he hasn't. Maybe he has, but I think he should have been. But then again, you know, it comes down to like acting and all kinds of other things that are necessary. And but just as far as looks wise, the dude had the look. I mean, he looked like the Ultimate Warrior. Very impressive looking physical specimen. Just scary looking. Just a mountain of muscle. You know, no fat. Just crazy, look like a superhero. You know. Anyway, so Jeff Speakman goes up against this guy, and this guy's like fully clothed. So like, if you've never seen him before, you have no idea that underneath the dude is jacked and shredded. But in this movie Street Night, you don't see that, but you just see him as this big dude. And his face isn't like a super bad guy looking face either. So that was a little bit of a bummer, but that he's playing the bad guy, this scary boss, but he doesn't have necessarily like a scary looking face. He has a heroic face. Like, once again, like, give him a sword. He belongs like in a Viking movie or something, like a barbarian movie. But anyway, they go at it. It's an awesome fight scene for the time. Like today is, you know, fight scenes have since then have evolved a lot, but for back then, I thought it was fantastic. And the best part is, like, you see that Jeff Speakman is outgunned for sure. You know, there's a huge size difference and stuff. And he even tells, it's funny because he tells the guy, he goes, think about it, you're not that big, right? Which probably means, like, dude, you're pretty huge. But Jeff Speakman uses a screwdriver and stabs him right through the thigh. And then Tom McGee gets a weapon, like a long pipe. And then at that point, Jeff Speakman grabs a hold of 2 wrenches. And that's the evolution from the double sticks. Now we get to see the double wrench action. And you can see that he's using it like he's using the double sticks. And it's an amazing fight scene to me. That was the best part, and that ends it as it should. You know, anyone gets hit in the face with a wrench, I don't care how big you are, that's pretty nasty. That's a fight ender for sure. But that's one of my favorite fight scenes of all time. So that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.